Okay, here we are again, continuing Jungle's Year with the Mayor. This is a particularly pleasurable civic function. In front of you, we have it with a painting by young Janet here, and she'll explain about it in a minute. But effectively, this is Violette Szabo, one of our greatest war heroes, female war heroes, or war heroes anywhere. She worked for the Special Operations Executive during the war. Unfortunately, during one of the operations in France, she was captured by the Nazis, ended up at Ravensbrück concentration camp, and was eventually executed in 1945, despite all of the bravery. There is a very famous film from 1958 called Carve Her Name with Pride. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth it, but it tells the complete story. However, next door to me is the artist Janet, who will give a quick overview of what this actual painting represents.
Okay,
And there's my
so
book.
if I just get this side. So I didn't know how to start with this. Hello, I'm Janet. But I thought, well, Violette, you know, everybody loves Violette for what she's done for the country. So that made in my mind a big heart. So I thought, yes, she has to be in a heart. And I thought it's not just Violette, it's all her colleagues and all the soldiers and everything, all that happened to them as well. So she wasn't to be on her own. So I put the heart all round her. And then I started to think about her job, her profession. And I thought to myself, what do they actually do? And in my mind, it was that she was just going round on a bike. And then she would go into the cafes and the restaurants, and maybe she would chat to the soldiers and the normal people, the public, and get messages going. And she was a spy, so in the other words. So then I thought, well, what is there in that? I mean, it's just messages, really. And then all of a sudden in my head, I saw the war. And I thought, well, if it wasn't for people like Violette and all her colleagues and things, then the war wouldn't have all that much activity. The activity has come because people like Violette have actually told the in secret, you know, where to go next and where not to go next. So they kept the war going in the right way. So then I had to have all the war going on with all the activity. I didn't want to make it too gruesome, although I would have liked to have shown the truth, really. But I wanted to show sometimes that how these soldiers didn't really want to do these things, but they were forced to do it. So we've got one from each side, and one is helping the other, even though they are on the other side against each other. It had to be things like that as well on here, as well as the horrible side, all the things. So that's how it came about. Yes.
Brilliant. And obviously, sitting down here, we're well known to Builth residents, is Tania, who is Violette's daughter. And obviously, we're very pleased that Violette's daughter has
And
turned up with,
Lord Mick of Cllr.
yes, Lord Mick of Cllr himself. Your initial impressions of the painting?
I think it's wonderful, and I think the whole idea behind it, the concept, and Violette with the heart in the poppy, the famous poppy, and each poppy represents someone who's given their life, as Violette did. And yes, it's just wonderful. And Violette did do quite a lot of cycling, a lot of walking. She met a lot of people, not soldiers so much, but resistance fighters. And she had to group together, particularly on her second mission, she had to group together various disparate resistance groups so that they would be willing to work together, which they didn't want to because they were either Gaullists or communists or very right-wing, like the gendarmes were, but they were all there to free France. So yes, that represents all of that, and it's just wonderful.
This has got a title, really. It has a plaque, and it's called The Power of Secret Messengers during World War II. And that is the power. I wanted to show the power in it. I wanted to show people that she was like naive, vulnerable looking, 17 years old in this picture anyway. Is that right? So, but I wanted the eyes to show people that she was determined to do what she had to do, no matter what.
And she was 22
22.
when she went over to France.
And this is the key thing, because the painting and the plaque and another plaque which explains a bit more detail about it will be in the foyer of the Strand. We'll put that up as soon as we can. People pop in and look in. And of course, what I'm going to finish on is not just where Tania's concerned, not about her mother, but her father, Etienne, was a war hero as well. Died leading his troops at the Second Battle of the Alamein, won the Legion d'Honneur, the Croix de Guerre, the Médaille Militaire. So Tania's got a hell of a heritage where this country is concerned. So yeah, it's
And
just
I'm now
thank you.
writing his book.
Yeah.
I've written Violette's book,
Yeah.
Young, Brave and Beautiful,
Yeah.
and now I've been ordered
To write your father's book.
to write
Good.
my father's
Good,
book.
because there's a link there. So both you ladies, thank you ever so much.
Thank you very, very much.